Hey everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm gonna break down step by step exactly what you need to do to make your first real money selling AI-powered solutions. Just so you know where this is coming from, I'm not here to talk theory. I actually run an AI agency that I've scaled to $25,000 monthly revenue. So everything I'm sharing today is based on our experience. If I could go back and hand my past self a blueprint, this is exactly what I'd give him. And hopefully it saves you a ton of wasted time, confusion, and chasing shiny objects. So first, a quick reality check. There is a ton of hype out there, people claiming that AI is some kind of instant income machine. If you're seeing these YouTube videos about the laziest ways to make thousands of dollars per day with AI, I'm telling you now, just ignore them. Making real money with AI and automations has nothing to do with laziness, especially if you're just starting out. This is not a quick money scheme, okay? You need to put in actual time and effort because you have to become an expert. You have to obtain the right skills and you have to deliver real value. You'll need to analyze the market, test your problem solution hypothesis until you land on an offer that actually solves a real business problem. And then you'll need to find a channel for client acquisition that actually works for you. All of that takes time and a lot of effort, but I promise you, it's 100% doable if you approach it the right way. Now, let's quickly get aligned on what an AI agency actually is and why this is the model I recommend if you're just starting out. First off, an AI agency is simply an outsourced, service-based business. You're not building a software product or launching some fancy SaaS application. You're basically providing a service, right? Consulting or automation using AI and automation tools to solve real business problems for clients. Now, let's break down the two main approaches people take: service-based on the left and product-based on the right. Let's start with service-based businesses like agencies, consulting, or freelancing. The main pros here is that you get to cash fast, okay? No need to wait months or years to launch a product. Then you actually get paid to learn because every client project is real-world training that builds your skills. Also, to get started with service-based business, costs are super low. You don't need to invest in product development and hire a team from day one. And maybe most important for beginners, every project you do builds your portfolio and your reputation, which snowballs your next opportunities. But there are some disadvantages to this model, which is why for me personally, it works best as a transitional step rather than a long-term business. First of all, it's active income. So you're trading your time for money. Even if you price your time premium, still there is very little leverage here. There is less recurring revenue compared to product-based businesses where you'd usually have a subscription-based pricing model. And yeah, it's generally harder to scale beyond a certain point unless you build a bigger team and scale the operations with it. Now let's look at product-based businesses, mainly things like SaaS. The pros here sound amazing. First of all, they're super scalable. One product can serve thousands or even millions of users and usually with no marginal fee of replication. You get recurring revenue if you nail your subscription model, and there is the potential for an exit if your product takes off. So this business is much more sellable, but the cons are big, especially for beginners. The upfront effort is massive. You'll spend months or sometimes years before you see your first dollar. Cash flow is delayed, so you're investing time and often money long before you get paid. If you want to scale fast, usually you need to invest in headcount and marketing, and for that you need to raise funds, and which is a full-time job on its own. And the biggest one, of course, there is a high risk that you'll spend all that time building the wrong thing. So approximately 90% of startups fail because they never find product market fit. So the conclusion is service-based businesses like an AI agency are simply faster and easier for beginners. You get to learn, you make real money early, and you build the foundation you need if you ever want to launch a product later on. And that's why we are starting here. Let me show you exactly how I see the roadmap for this business model. It's what I see happening over and over again in this space. The first step, and honestly the most important one, is the AI and automation agency. For most people, including myself and a lot of my peers, this isn't the end game, but rather a transition step. This is where you actually get in the game, you start working with clients, experience, and you finally get paid. You build a real-world experience, and you learn what businesses actually care about, not just in theory, but in practice. Now, from here, you have two main routes you can take as you level up. First, there's the service-based route, where you provide a comprehensive audit and AI implementation for bigger companies. So it's basically higher ticket consulting. You become an AI transformation partner rather than just an outsourced agency implementing technical assignment. This path obviously takes a bigger team, a ton of expertise, and the sales cycle can be long, sometimes 6 months to a year, just to close a deal. But the upside is that just for the audit alone, just to identify how the AI can be implemented for a particular company, you can charge $70K or more. This is exactly what my friend Igor does with his company Neurons Lab. They work with giants like Visa and AXA. Or take Liam Otley. He's been talking a lot lately about the transition of his AI automation agency Morningside AI into an AI transformation partner, and that's exactly what they are doing right now. But again, this is only possible because they put in the groundwork as an agency first. Okay, the other route is product-based. Think SaaS, platforms, or tools. If you manage to build a software product and actually hit product market fit, you can scale to thousands or millions of users without the headache of, delivering every project from scratch. There is no marginal cost for each new user, which is why products like Lovable can achieve this crazy $100 million ARR in just 8 months. But to be honest, it's hard. I've tried building a SaaS, a marketplace. Both times we spent a year building and trying to find product market fit, and both times we failed. So this really is a high risk, high reward path. But in any case, nobody skips the first step, the agency consulting phase. And once you get good at this, you'll eventually hit the good problem we all face. It's tough to scale beyond $30,000 or $40,000 a month as an agency, well, if you don't templatize your solution, but build a custom one every time from scratch. You'll start noticing you need to hire more people, deal with more operations, and every new client brings a new project with its own custom requirements and own custom headache. So it gets hectic, and that's why you see a lot of my peers eventually pivot. Some evolve into SaaS, others double down on big ticket consulting. Just a few examples from people in my circle: my own agency, Bossar Agency, Prompt Advisors run by Mark and Taha, OmniFusion run by Cedar and Emil, or Integraticus run by Yanis. OmniFusion, for example, are now moving towards a SaaS business. Prompt Advisors seem to be building out a full-scale consulting shop. We are also starting to build our own product soon, so everyone is evolving. But the main takeaway, you need to do the groundwork first. You have to get those first sales, you have to deliver results, and only then you can really choose which path makes the most sense for you. All right, so let's talk about step number 1, obtaining expertise. This is the foundation, and honestly, it's non-negotiable. If you want to make real money in this space, you need actual skills that solve real problems for businesses. First, you need to master no-code automations. Think of this as the business logic layer. Tools like Make.com and N8N are your go-tos here. Personally, I'd lean toward N8N. It's just easier to navigate, and to me, it feels more flexible, I'd say, for most use cases. But you only need to get good at one of them to start. What do these tools do? You probably already know. They let you stitch together different apps, pass data from node to node, and automate full workflows without writing code. You just drag and drop some nodes, set up some API connections, and just like this, you can build something that saves a business tons of time and money. If you want to learn Make.com, just check out Ben AI's full course on YouTube. If you're more interested in N8N, I've actually got you covered. I've created a full how to build agents video with N8N masterclass, plus detailed tutorials that walk you through real world projects step by step. So if you just watch these 4 videos, you'll be quite confident building automations yourself. Next, you've got no-code customer interface tools. This is how you actually connect your automations to the end user, usually through AI chatbots or voice agents. So for text-based interfaces or chatbots, I suggest that you learn VoiceFlow. For voice-based interfaces, Vapi and Retail AI are the top platforms. The cool thing is you can build a chatbot or voice bot with no code and then hook it up to your no-code automations in Any10 or Make.com. And this way, you can build a real agentic solution basically with no code, right? A system that can talk to customers, trigger workflows, and actually take action. For VoiceFlow, just check out their official YouTube channel. They've got a fantastic playlist for beginners. This is actually how I learned it. For Vapi, check out Yanis's channel. He is the Vapi guy and he goes really deep. For Retail AI, I've actually posted a couple of great tutorials, so you can start from there. But here's another reality check. No-code tools are great, but the entry barrier is very low these days. Anyone can follow a YouTube tutorial on using a no-code tool, and most businesses know it. They can self-service, right? So if you want to charge above $5,000 to $10,000 per project, you or your team need to know how to code, at least the basics of it. Why is that? Well, first of all, businesses will compare you with other AI agencies. Right now, when we have a sales call, it's very common for the prospect to be in touch with 10 other AI agencies, and they are comparing us all. So the fact that we have deep software development expertise, not just no-code automation, allows us to take on more complex projects, deliver better results, and ultimately clients choose us over the competition. They'll ask for custom integrations, they want on-premise deployments or advanced permission setups, they want privacy, security, maybe a unique front end. This is where no-code hits a wall. If you want to offer true value and charge premium rates, you need coding skills. And that's why we built the AIF Academy. In 8 weeks, we teach you exactly what you need. No fluff, just practical coding basics in JavaScript, building APIs, deploying to AWS, and much more. Once you get the basics down, you can start working with AI coding tools like Claude Code or Cursor, and these tools make you 10 times faster, but you still need to know what you're doing, right? You need to be able to review the code, iterate, and understand what's going on. So the bottom line, if you want to work with high-value clients, especially those who care about privacy, custom setups, or complex integrations, you absolutely need coding in your toolbox. Now, if you master these 3 areas, no-code automations, no-code customer interfaces, and the basics of coding, you'll officially become an advanced AI builder. And then the second step is creating your lead flow. Because no matter how good you get at building automations, if nobody knows you exist, you're not getting paid. When it comes to lead generation, there are really 2 main ways: inbound and outbound. Inbound lead generation is all about attracting people to you. This usually means you are creating content, posting case studies, sharing insights, making videos, whatever fits your style. The biggest advantage, you attract warmer leads. These people already know and trust you a bit even before you talk to them. And also, you build your brand, right? Over time, people start to see you as the expert. But it's slow to start, right? You don't post a single video and have your calendar fill up overnight. It's also hard to control the volume, at least in the beginning. Maybe when you get to hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you can predict the performance. But in the beginning, it's hard to control the volume. And honestly, it's harder to delegate. So your face, your voice, your message, people want you, not your virtual assistant. Outbound lead generation is the opposite. You don't wait for people to find you. You go straight to them. Think cold emails, LinkedIn DMs, direct outreach. The benefits of this approach, fast results, right? You can start getting replies and booking calls this week, not someday. It's highly targeted. You get to choose who you reach out to, so you're not stuck waiting for the right people to show up, but you'll get lower response rate. Most people just won't reply. You'll face more rejection because that's just the game. And let's be real, sometimes it can feel a little pushy, especially if you're not used to putting yourself out there. I think this is a good metaphor to make this stick. Outbound is like you just made the best waffles in town and you're so excited, you go door to door with a basket, knocking and offering samples. Some people aren't interested, some doors never open, but sometimes someone is starving for waffles and buys on the spot. Outbound is direct, immediate, and takes energy. You don't have to wait, but you do have to hustle. Inbound is like opening a cozy bakery, right? You spend time perfecting your setup, crafting your sign, letting the smell of fresh waffles drift out the window. People slowly start to notice, word of mouth spreads, and soon people are lining up at your door. Often, already eager to buy, but it takes time, it takes patience, and a bit of trust that your effort will pay off down the line. Now, let's quickly talk about the best channels for actually getting those leads. Based on my experience, and I am biased, of course, because I see the numbers in my agency, YouTube is by far the best channel for inbound. You are literally watching this video right now, and almost all of the best leads we get come through this channel. So it's pure proof it works. LinkedIn is the second one I'd recommend. If you're consistently creating content there, it's basically the platform for business connections, right? Companies hang out there, they see your stuff, and they reach out. And finally, Instagram Reels. I haven't done much of this personally, but I have friends who are absolutely crushing it with Reels. So it's great for visibility if your style fits more of that quick, bite-sized content. For the outbound, these are the tried and tested channels I've used for years. Email is still king for direct outreach. LinkedIn again, but this time for proactive DMs and connection requests instead of just publishing content and waiting for inbound traffic. And for some industries, cold calling, events, and conferences still work. If you're targeting more traditional businesses, you may have to meet them where they are. So sometimes that's literally shaking hands at the trade show. And here's the thing, you don't have to choose just one. Do both. The beauty of inbound is that you can start building your brand and sharing your learning as you are learning, right? Literally, make a video about what you figured out yesterday or post a LinkedIn update with a new workflow you built. Even if you are a beginner, documenting your progress compounds over time. Trust me, the people who started sharing early have a massive head start. But if you want money in the door fast, nothing beats inbound. You can reach out and hook your first sales while you are still building up your inbound presence. And my advice is to pick one inbound channel to focus on, be consistent, and don't overthink it. Just, share what you are learning, and that's it for now. And at the same time, start outbound today. So for the rest of this video, we are going to focus on outbound lead generation. All right, let's break down how outbound lead generation actually works step by step. First, it all starts with niche selection. You've got two ways to do this, as an insider or an outsider. If you have domain experience, say you've worked in hospitality, healthcare, real estate, whatever, that's a huge advantage because you know the pain points firsthand. You have the network and you understand how to talk to people in that industry. If that's you, start there. But if you're coming in as an outsider, totally new to the niche, right? You need to be more deliberate with your research. I usually use tools like Miro or Figma to break down a niche and map out all the workflows. Like, for example, here's a workflow breakdown I did for hotels, right? I looked at all the key processes: customer service, booking, check-in and check-out, guest experience, etc. For each of these, I ask, what's the biggest pain point? Okay, like for customer service, hotels struggle with 24/7 support, language barriers, and prompt service, especially during peak times. So that's the problem. Then I brainstorm an AI-powered solution. So for this example, it could be an AI chatbot that's connected to the hotel's knowledge base, available on all communication channels like WhatsApp, and can speak any language. It's available 24/7, answers guest questions, and even gives personalized recommendations. And I repeat this process for every major workflow. Now, apart from doing my own analysis, I also research which AI tools are already being used in the niche. In most industries, there are already startups out there solving real problems. By finding those tools, you can see how they frame their solutions and which pain points they focus on. Just check their websites and case studies. This lets you understand the numbers and impact that you can highlight in your own outreach. For example, in the hospitality niche, I found a tool called Quick Text. They have a bunch of case studies on their site. They show real results, real numbers, and because they've spent so much time talking to users, the language on their site is really tuned to actual customer pain points. So you can borrow that language and use it directly in your own outreach to make your offer like more compelling and speak their language. So you see the pattern: break down the process, spot the pain points, match a solution, and quantify the impact if possible. Once you've mapped this out, you have a really strong problem solution hypothesis, and now you can craft an offer that actually solves a real problem. From there, you are ready to start outreach and test your problem solution hypothesis. So that's the groundwork for effective outbound lead generation: niche selection, workflow analysis, problem solution hypothesis, a clear offer, and then outreach. Let's break it down by three main channels: cold emails, LinkedIn, and your network. First up, cold email. There is one rule you need to remember here: volume negates luck. If you send more emails, you will book more calls. It's that simple. Don't overthink it, just get the volume up and keep iterating. Now, the process is really 3 steps: list building, script writing, and email warm-up and outreach. For list building, use tools like Clay or Apollo to build your audience. You can filter your ICP, your ideal customer profile, find the right people, and use those tools to enrich that data with proven contact details, with proven email addresses. Then script writing. This is where your preparation work pays off, because to craft the best message, you have to understand your ICP, their pain points, the language they use, and what they care about. One of the good frameworks for emails looks like this: quick intro, mention their pain point, show how you solve it, and end with a clear call to action. Of course, include a relevant case study if you have any, but the number one rule is to personalize. Then you'll achieve the highest conversion rate. And for email warm-up and outreach, tools like Smart Lead AI and Instantly are great for automating your campaigns and ensuring decent deliverability. And remember, it's never just one email. People usually reply after the second or third follow-up, so make sure to set up those sequences of emails. I actually have a separate video where I go much deeper into the technical side of cold email, like how to buy multiple domains, how many emails to send each day for best deliverability, and step-by-step examples for crafting your scripts. So definitely check out that video for a full walkthrough. Next, LinkedIn. Same logic as cold email, but the platform is different. In my experience, the reply rates can be even better here. So again, start by building your target list with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, filter for your ICP, just like you did with your email list. Then write personalized connection requests and follow-up messages that address your prospects' real pain points, okay? Try not to spam, be really thoughtful about this. And you can automate your message sequences with tools like LinkedIn Helper or Dripify to run your campaigns at scale. I've seen great conversion rates using this, and personally, I always go with LinkedIn Helper. Finally, don't overlook your network, the people who already trust you. When you are starting out, these are the warmest leads you have. Reach out to friends, family, ex-colleagues, past clients, partners, anyone you know, plus your connections on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or Facebook communities. Just reconnect, catch up, and tell them about what you're doing. Share your new offer or project. Offer some quick value like a free audit or a demo. And always ask for referrals. Even if they are not the right fit, they might know someone who is. This approach does 2 things. It gives you confidence and valuable feedback from people you are more comfortable talking to, those who are more likely to share honest thoughts than a cold lead over email. And it also helps you land your first case studies, so you have real results to show when you start reaching out to colder leads. Do all 3 and pretty soon you'll be like this character here, having leads with real problems you can solve, reaching out to you, ready to talk and ready to buy. Step number 3 is all about selling, delivering, and then repeating the process, iterating to grow your business. So by now, you've run your outreach, started getting some replies, and you've booked your first sales calls. This is usually a discovery call. The goal here is to really understand your client. What are their goals? What problems do they face? And what do they want to achieve? So keep it simple. Briefly introduce yourself and what you do. Focus the conversation on exploring their pain points and goals. Try to be empathetic. The best salespeople are, okay? If you already have a case study, just mention it casually. Don't oversell, just use it to show you've actually delivered results before. And finally, make sure you set expectations for next steps at the end of the call. Let them know what the exploration phase looks like and what you'll be covering. Next, you'll move to the exploration phase. This is where you really scope out the project. You'll want to evaluate feasibility, like, is this even doable for you? What would it take to complete the project? Review or request access to any sample data if needed, and develop a high-level scope. What's the timeline? What are the deliverables? And what will it cost? After that, you draft and present your proposal. Usually, you'd have to jump on another call to do this, walk the client through the solution step by step, be transparent about pricing, timeline, deliverables, and answer any concerns, especially around cost or data privacy. Those are like the most frequently asked questions. The outcome here should be a signed agreement with payment terms locked in and a clear green light to start work. Then comes service delivery. This is where you actually build and deliver the project. Now, as soon as you wrap up a project, turn that project into a case study, okay? Document the problem, your solution, and most importantly, the results you delivered. Add real numbers wherever possible. How much money did you save the client? How much time? How much new leads did you help them generate, etc.? Case studies are your ultimate proof of credibility. Plug your case study into your outreach scripts, use it as a follow-up in your cold emails and LinkedIn DMs, put it on your website, make a video sales letter out of it. And then you can use it as a social proof, showing that you are not just talking, but actually delivering real results, and this skyrockets your credibility. And once you have the credibility, it makes your future outreach way more effective. It boosts your conversion rates at every step, from reply rates to booked calls to closed deals. So don't just deliver and move on. Make every project a stepping stone that gets you more business and more credibility. All right, so here's the TLDR. There are just 3 steps you need to follow to actually make your first $1,000 and more selling AI services. Step number 1 is to get real expertise. Learn the skills, practice building stuff, and make sure you can actually deliver value. Step number 2 is to build a lead flow. You need a steady stream of potential clients. Doesn't matter if it's inbound or outbound, just get your offer in front of people. And step number 3 is to sell, deliver, and repeat. Close deals, deliver what you promised, and turn every successful project into a case study to boost your credibility. If you manage to put all 3 together, expertise, lead flow, and credibility, you will succeed in running an agency and actually making money with this model. And once you've been doing this for a while, you'll have enough hands-on experience to actually step back and analyze what you enjoy, what you're best at, and where you want to go next. Whether you decide to launch your own SaaS, lean into high-ticket AI consulting, or maybe even create an educational product, it all starts here. Remember, consistency is the key. If you keep at it, you'll get better and results will compound. Don't chase shiny shortcuts. Focus on learning, doing the work, and improving a little every day. If you got value from this video, hit subscribe, drop a comment with your questions or experiences. If you want more hands-on support, check out the links in the description to join our community. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.